In this lecture, we will learn about shear center of channel section. Let us say the given channel section dimensions are the horizontal leg has W width and the height of the channel is H. T is the thickness of this channel. Now this is a central x axis, symmetrical axis for the channel section. Now applied shear is which is vertically downwards. Then this vertical leg will have a shear resistance. This is VW, and this top flange will have H1 and the bottom flange will have H2. Remember this direction, everything I discussed in the last video. You can refer back if you have to. Okay, now top and bottom flange are same dimension. Your H1 will be equal to H2. You can take it as H itself, because for a section to be in equilibrium, sum of horizontal force should be equal to 0. So H1 will be equal to H2. That we are taking it as H. Okay. Now, if you take sum of vertical force equal to 0, you applied vertical shear acting downwards, that is V, and the resistance of shear in the vertical leg is VW, that is upwards. So your VW has to be equal to V. Now if you take sum of moment equal to 0, you see that if you take moment about this point, your H1 which is equal to H now, that H2 is also equal to H now. So this distance is H by 2. Since these two horizontal forces causing clockwise moment, now if you want the body to be in equilibrium, you have to generate an equivalent anti-clockwise moment by this force. Then the anti-clockwise moment will develop only when this vertical that applied shear is on the left side, not on the inside edge. So let us say this is your distance is E, and your applied shear force is passing through this. The distance E is called the shear center. So if you write the expression V into E, that is anti-clockwise moment about point O, V into E acting in anti-clockwise direction should be equal to this H into H by 2. Similarly, this H into this H by 2. So you have H into H by 2 plus H into H by 2, which is equal to H into H. Therefore, shear center is equal to H into H divided by V. Right? Now, how to find out this H? Here H is this one. H is this one. This is VW. Now to find H, find the shear flow at A, that is QA at this point, because it's a H or end, QA is always 0 as we discussed. Now BA, remember Q is equal to V A y bar divided by I. QBA, remember we are calculating for this element, total element, rectangular element. So total shear force acting is V multiplied by area of BA is W into T, and the perpendicular, this is centroid. The distance from here to here is h by 2, divided by I, that is QBA. Now if you draw this shear flow diagram, at this point you have 0, at A 0 you have, at B, let us say this is your, at B you have QBE, and it varies linearly from 0. So this is your shear flow distribution on leg BA. So if you want to find out H is nothing but, so what is the area of this shear flow diagram on the leg BA? That is half base into height. So H is equal to half W into V by I W T into H by 2. So therefore your shear center, so if you substitute for H, you have 1/4 of V W square T inch by I into H divided by V shear center, value of shear center. Okay, so you have a shear force acting in the channel section as 4 kilonewton given. Now this is the channel section of 100 mm. From A to B is 100, from B to C is 200, and the thickness all around is 10 mm. And you know this section is symmetrical with respect to x-axis. This is VW, this is H, this also will be H. Okay, now you know shear flow is Q is equal to V into A y bar divided by I moment of inertia about x-axis. Moment of inertia, now for this vertical leg it is 10 into 200 cube by 12. Now for this horizontal leg, this horizontal leg and this horizontal, both are one and the same. That is for this rectangle about its own central axis, but we want about Ix. So plus area is 100 into 10 and h bar square is half of 200, that is 100 square, and because this leg and this leg, top and bottom leg, there are two, so you are 2 here, multiply by 2. Now pay careful attention. I have written this 100 into 10 cube by 12 is in red color, right? That is because, see, uh, because it's a very thin section, You can neglect this term 100 into 10 cube by 12. You can easily neglect this term. When you compare to this whole value, this will be very less. For example, and if you don't add this term, you will have 26.6666 into 10 power 6 millimeter power 4. So in many of the cases, people will neglect this one because here it is 10 mm, seems to be little thicker, but many cases this thickness will be very less. So you can easily neglect this term. So you will have only this term and this term, although multiplied by 2 will be there. So this can be neglected. So this is the high value. So we are going to work with this. We are not going to take up this. We are going to take only this shear flow. Now what is shear flow at A, which will be at D also, which is equal to 0 because it is the end of the channel. Now what is the shear flow at QBA? V is given as 4000 newtons multiplied by area of this BA is Y bar is also 100, 200 by 2 divided by I value 26.666 into 10 power 6. So QB is 15 Newton per millimeters. Okay. This is 0 at A. At B you have QBA, which is 15 Newton per millimeter. The area of this one, this is 100 mm. The area of this shear flow is half into base into 750 Newton. Therefore, now to find shear center H. So H is 750 multiplied by H is 200. So E is 750 multiplied by 200 divided by 4000, which is equal to 37.5 millimeter. Shear center is equal to 37.5 millimeter. So if you want to avoid torsion in this section, either this 4 kilonewtons should be applied at this point, which is 37.5 millimeter from the center of the web. On the outside you have to apply the load of 4 kilonewtons here along the x-axis, central axis. This is here 37.5.